When these women walk into a room, agents whisper, cameras adjust, and entire contracts get rewritten. Their presence, global. Their power, multi-dimensional. Forget inspiring. These women are running empires in cleats and leading the charge. A woman who once redefined tennis, then went and rewrote the business of being an athlete. The 10 most powerful black female athletes in the world. You won't believe who ranks number 1, not just for their talent, but for how they've reshaped the entire sports ecosystem. Number 10, Serena Williams.
This is just a new part of my life, and my baby's gonna be in this dance. And
when most athletes retire, they vanish. When Serena Williams did it, she went supernova. She didn't just leave tennis, she rebranded power itself. It wasn't a farewell tour, it was a strategic withdrawal from the arena she already conquered to step into one she'd already begun owning: finance, fashion, tech, and motherhood. Serena's announcement wasn't posted, it was published, in Vogue, draped in Balenciaga, flanked by empire-building quotes. She called it not retirement, but an evolution, and it was. She launched Serena Ventures, backing over 60 companies with a portfolio so diverse it could destabilize a mediocre IPO. She's in the boardrooms now, and the rooms don't move unless she enters. The object here isn't her racket, it's her absence. Because the most powerful thing Serena owns is her ability to walk away from domination and still dominate. Her exit was a beginning, and now she's making more money not playing tennis than most make by lifting Grand Slam. She didn't fade, she multiplied, startups, campaigns, she even created an investment firm to back women of color. That's not retirement, that's redistribution. And while Serena left the court in Balenciaga, the next queen cashed in without ever leaving campus. Number 9, Angel Reese.
Coaches emphasize us like we know that we can be the best front court in this league, so just trying to...
Angel Reese didn't wait to go pro. She turned college into a business model. While the NCAA scrambled to figure out how to regulate NIL deals, Angel showed up with lashes, attitude, and a jaw-dropping wingspan and turned the entire system into her personal ATM. Nicknamed Bayou Barbie, she weaponized social media like a CEO in sneakers. Her brand? A collision of glamour and grit. She talks trash with rhinestones on her nails, dunks with Dior bags in frame, and posts stats like they're luxury receipts. By the time she declared for the WNBA, she was already worth over $1.7 million in endorsement deals. That includes partnerships with Coach, Amazon, Mercedes-Benz, and Reebok, where she signed on as the face of the brand under Shaq's revival. But here's the kicker: her influence reshaped how we value female athletes, not just for their performance, but for their persona. She blurred the line between athlete and influencer and made it clear you don't have to wait for pro leagues to get paid. Angel isn't just part of the NIL wave, she is the wave. And while Angel made headlines by cashing in, the next woman changed the game by stepping back. Still watching without subscribing? Bold of you. Click that like button before your next trip to Target turns into a brand partnership. Subscribe now, and maybe your next group project will come with a sneaker deal and a Gatorade ad. Because if Angel Reese can get paid to blink in slow motion, you can at least show some love. Number 8, Simone Biles.
But right now, I think she's gonna take some time and relax, as all of us should, you know?
Simone Biles doesn't just flip gravity, she flipped the global sports narrative by stepping back. At the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, with billions watching and sponsors waiting, Simone did something unheard of in elite sport. She pulled out of multiple finals, not for injury, for mental health. That moment wasn't a weakness, it was an earthquake. She turned her own brain into a boundary, and in doing so, became more than a gymnast. She became the blueprint. Pundits raged, sponsors held their breath, but Simone stood still, unbothered, while the world spun around her. Her exit didn't end her career, it catapulted her to a higher orbit. She returned later, stronger than ever, and now holds the most world championship medals of any gymnast in history. And that Tokyo vault, the one she paused before, that's the object here, the symbol, a motion frozen in time where a woman looked at the system and said, "Not today." That single decision redefined strength for an entire generation. Now she's back, running her own gym, writing books, and partnering with brands who understand power isn't in the trick, it's in the choice. She didn't need the spotlight to leave an impact, but just as she stepped aside, another woman walked past the cameras and changed what it meant to be seen. Number 7, Naomi Osaka.
I would say in that regards I'm quite different to a lot of people, and
Naomi Osaka didn't yell, protest, or tweet. She just didn't show up. At the 2021 French Open, she skipped press conferences to protect her mental health. Calm, clear, unapologetic. The reaction, fines, threats, pearl clutching. Pundits called her spoiled. The tennis world acted like she'd worn Crocs to center court, but Naomi didn't flinch. She withdrew entirely. In that quiet exit, she shattered the myth that visibility means availability. She reminded us, athletes don't owe us access, they allow it. Silence wasn't weakness, it was controlled. That skipped the interview, it was the story. A young black woman in a white, rigid sport choosing her well-being over a mic. And what came next? Louis Vuitton, Levi's, Time 100, her own media company, lighting the Olympic flame in Tokyo. While critics debated, Naomi elevated. Her step back turned into a megaphone for others. Gymnasts, soccer stars, who now negotiate rest like endorsements. Naomi didn't need another trophy. She became the moment in a Nike tracksuit, because real power doesn't always shout. Sometimes it skips the presser and makes the world lean in. And while Naomi stepped back, the next star stepped in with a visor and a racket. Number 6, Coco Gauff.
I guess the positives I can take away is I had a tough draw.
Coco Gauff doesn't just play, she arrives. And when she does, it's always under that signature Nike visor, color-coded, attitude adjusted, and curved just right. It's not headwear, it's a signal, a cross between superhero cowl and royal crown, worn by a woman who knows she belongs on center court. At just 19, Coco became the youngest American woman to win the US Open since Serena. But she didn't just inherit a legacy, she's wearing it. That visor isn't blocking the sun, it's channeling something ancestral. She lifts it when she's ready to serve, to speak, to silence a stadium, and when it stays down, that's focus in fabric form. The visor's become so iconic that fans wear it to matches. Commentators reference it like it's part of her backhand. Brands line up to sponsor it like it's sentient. Because Coco isn't just playing for trophies, she's playing to define a new visual language of leadership in tennis. One that says, I'm young, I'm black, I'm here, and I'm not asking. Next up, a sprinter who made publishers race to keep up. Number 5, Allison Felix.
My first games, it was just amazing. Everything, I think I was a bit overwhelmed.
Allison Felix has more Olympic medals than any other track and field athlete, man or woman, in US history. But her most powerful artifact? A book. Her memoir, Focus, is less autobiography, more manifesto. Between those pages, you don't just find her sprints, you find her stance. On motherhood, on sponsorship politics, on how Nike tried to cut her pay after pregnancy, and how she said no. The book itself is sleek, minimal cover, bold typography, like it knows it doesn't need to shout, and inside, paragraphs that land harder than finish line dives. Allison's words go beyond sport. She redefined what it means to be elite while being a parent, an entrepreneur, and a protester with spikes on. This isn't a book you read, it's one you carry, like armor, because sometimes the heaviest thing a sprinter brings to the track isn't pressure, it's principle. The next one didn't write the blueprint, she built the building. Number 4, Aja Wilson.
I cherish every moment and every memory we made together.
Aja Wilson didn't just carve out space in the WNBA, she built it from scratch. Her South Carolina training facility isn't some casual gym, it's a cathedral of grind, a sweat sanctuary with pro-level rehab tech, custom locker rooms, and walls lined with quotes from legendary black women right beside her own jersey. This isn't just where she trains, it's where greatness gets manufactured. Teens call it sacred, college players show up just to feel the vibes. And when Aja enters, she doesn't warm up, she rules the place. Every dumbbell is a flex, every mat, a mic drop. She didn't ask for access, she built the blueprint in concrete. While others are still begging for invites, Aja's tossing out keys to the next generation. Her message is loud. Legacy isn't just in stats, it's in the spaces we build. And just when you thought no one could top that, along came someone who turned a tour bus into her throne. Number 3, Sha'Carri Richardson.
It took great, and it honestly was gonna take literally my best to come forward and be able to compete.
Sha'Carri Richardson doesn't just arrive, she enters. And when she does, it's not with noise, but with knowing. In a quiet studio, wearing hair that stuns and nails that slice the air, she speaks to a room of cameras and lights, and makes them all look small. No bus, no track, no crowd, just her voice. And that voice, sharper than any finish line. She doesn't need a race to win the moment, because in this setting, this calm, curated space, Sha'Carri Sha'Carri does what the mirror was always meant for, reflection with purpose. She doesn't just style herself, she studies herself. She knows what people say, and she chooses what they'll see next. Not a sprint, a statement. The mirror here isn't made of glass, it's a lens she bends. Her words cut through noise like spikes on track, and every time she speaks about image, faith, pressure, power, it's not a detour, it's the race. She's not just checking her reflection, she's directing her legacy. And while Sha'Carri bends the lens, the next icon bends the runway. Number 2, Venus Williams.
2 tough draws, and you have to get started immediately. And
Venus Williams doesn't yell, she sketches, fits, and commands the room. Backstage at her own New York runway show, surrounded by athletes turned models and racks of bold activewear. Venus isn't chasing relevance, she's tailoring it. This isn't just a fashion debut, it's a strategy in fabric form. While others post selfies, Venus is pinning seams and perfecting the cut. She didn't just show up to Fashion Week, she redefined who belongs there. The real flex? She designed the pieces herself. This collection moves like she does. Intentional, clean, and unapologetically strong. Behind the calm voice and controlled palette is a woman stitching legacy into every seam. And while most designers show off clothes, Venus shows off motion. Power doesn't always need a spotlight. Sometimes it's lit by makeup mirrors, held up by seamstresses, and worn by women who could bench press the runway. And just when you think you've seen it all, someone steps up and says, "Watch this." Number 1, Sydney McLaughlin Levrone.
Oh, it's getting tight. Brilliant run from Cochran in second. Watch the clock. Here she goes.
Sydney McLaughlin Levrone doesn't just sprint, she re-engineers speed. On the track at a mere 25, amidst the roar and the timing gates, Sydney isn't just racing, she's making history tangible. This isn't simply about crossing a finish line, it's a masterclass in motion. While others might count victories, Sydney is refining technique, finding that extra fraction of a second. She didn't just achieve a world record, she sculpted it. The true force? She built it. That 50.68-second demolition of the 400-meter hurdles mirrors her approach. Deliberate, fierce, and executed with chilling precision. Beneath the composed exterior and the effortless stride is a woman embedding her will into the track itself. And while most runners celebrate a personal best, Sydney redefines what's humanly possible. Dominance isn't always loud. Sometimes it's in the calculated switch from 15 to 14 steps, anchored by unshakable faith and embodied by an athlete who doesn't just clear hurdles, she commands them. And if you missed it, rewind the game. Revealed, 10 stupidly expensive things Kendrick Lamar owns is the prequel to this power. Hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe to Jet Black Luxury, where black wealth speaks in gold and whispers louder than clout ever could. Until next time, move smart, flex quiet, stay legendary.